Good morning and Jai Hind children. We are discussing the chapter Transportation of Materials in Plants and Animals in Biology. Is it? And in previous class, I have explained the book exercises like short answer questions and the long answer questions. And one exercise of the chapter is left, that is thoughts question. So today I'm going to I'm going to discuss the answers of thoughts questions. Alright? And the question number one is, why is the color of blood red? Though it has constituent of different colors. Think about the question children first. As you know that blood is the mixture of different cells. Red blood cell, white blood cells, platelets, plasma. Is it not? So why it looks only red? Why it's not look the colorless or white? Because all the components of the blood is not colorful. White blood cells are not colorful. Plasma is also not colorful. Platelets are also not colorful. Only one component, that is red blood cell, is colored red color. So why the overall blood looks red? This is the question. So children, very simple that the color of the blood is red due to the presence of maximum number of red blood cell in the blood. Okay, if we will compare the number of different cells of the blood, so whose number is maximum? Red blood cell. And you know very well the red blood cells contains hemoglobin pigment, which is red in color. That is why the overall blood looks red. Okay, understood the answer? Now come to the next question number 2. And the question is, which side of the heart has oxygen rich blood and which side of the heart has carbon dioxide rich blood? Children, there are two sides, left side and right side. Is it? We have in the left side of heart left auricle and left ventricle, and in the right side of the heart we have right auricle and right ventricle. So here you have to tell that in which side of the heart oxygen rich blood is present and in which side of the heart carbon dioxide rich blood is present. So remember children, we have explained with the help of diagram the structure of heart. Is it not? So in left side of the heart we have oxygen rich blood, that is in left auricle and left ventricle. Oxygen rich blood is present, and in right side of the heart, that is in right auricle and right ventricle, carbon dioxide rich blood is present. Get it? Now question number 3. If vegetables such as brinjals or ladyfingers become somewhat dry and shriveled, they are put in water, they start looking fresh again because water enters inside them. Understood children? What is given in the statement in the question? That you must have observed some of the vegetables, especially in summer season, they get somewhat dry, somewhat swelled, means loose. So what generally people do? They put them in the water. They take water in bucket and put that vegetables in the water. And after some time, what happened? Again the vegetable looks fresh. Alright? So, in the absence of any opening, how does water enters the vegetable? As there is no opening present on the surface now, that looks. So, how water enters in it and how the vegetable again looks fresh? So, simply children, that water enters in the vegetables by the process of osmosis. They don't have the holes, but by the process of osmosis, from higher concentration of water to lower concentration of water, they move, water move from outside to inside, and again vegetable looks fresh. Get it? Now the next question number 4. And the question is, plants do not use all the water they absorb from the soil. Much of it is given off by transpiration. So why then do the plants absorb so much water? Children, first think about the question. As you know that plants continuously absorb the water. It means they absorb lot of water. Okay, but all the water is not utilized by them. Is it not? And much of that water gets removed by transpiration. Alright? So the question is, why then do the plants absorb so much water? If they are going to remove it from the body by the transpiration, then why they absorb more water? Why they not absorb only the water which is required by them? What is the reason? The reason is that plants absorb so much water because the evaporation of water vapors from the leaves produces a pulling force. Is it? It produces a kind of force, pull force, and that pulling force causes the water to move upward in the plants. If they will stop absorbing the water, then what will happen? This pulling force will stop, and if it gets stopped, so no water again able to move up. So that is why for continuous movement of the water up in the plant, the force is required, and that force produced because of the transpiration. That is why transpiration is required. Removal of excess water is required. Get it? Now the next question number 5. And the question is, xylem transports sap upwards only, whereas phloem transports food in both the directions. Why do you think there is a difference? Xylem only transport the material in one direction, means upward, whereas phloem transport in both the direction, upward and downward. So why there is a difference? Think about that. Very simple, children. As the xylem transport water and minerals, and this takes place from roots to all parts. Okay, na? And root is situated in the downmost part of the lowermost part of the plant. Okay, so there is no required to send something downward because it's already coming from the downmost part of the plant. Alright, so the same reason is there. Xylem transport water and minerals, and this takes place from the roots to all parts of the plant, mostly leaves. So this transportation is in only one direction. Okay, that is upward direction, and the food has to be reached to all the parts of the plant, including roots and the leaves and the flowers everywhere. So that is why what happened there? Transport of food in phloem takes place in both the directions. Alright, understood everyone? Why the different direction movement occurs? Now, come to the next question number 6. And the question is removal of undigested food from the body considered to be excretion? Yes or no? And then you have to give the reason. Removal of undigested food from the body, it will consider as excretion. Children, remember that we have discussed the excretion now, in which what happens? Urine removed from the body. Filtration of blood takes place, urine gets separated and removed out from the body. This is excretion. But in the question it's given, removal of undigested food in our small intestine, it is also considered as the excretion. So your answer must be no. It is not considered as excretion. And the reason? Because excretion is the removal of metabolic waste, okay, from the body. That is the waste produces by the various chemical reactions. Okay, and these reactions takes place in the body. Whereas undigested food are nothing but the undigested part of the food. They are not formed by any chemical reaction, metabolic reaction in the body. They are only undigested part of the food left in the body. Get it? So this undigested part of the food is taken by the body by the process of what? Digestion, which is a part of nutrition. Okay, so these two are the different process. Removal of metabolic waste, that is known as excretion, and removal of undigested food, that is nutrition, part of nutrition. Alright, everyone. Now, question number 7. And the question is, the ventricles have thick muscular walls, whereas the auricles have thin walls. Get it? One have thick wall and another have thin walls. Who have the thick wall? Ventricles. Alright? And the auricles have thin walls. So why do you think these thick muscular walls are necessary in the ventricles and not necessary in the auricle? Why? What is the reason? Children, the reason is very simple. The auricles only receive the blood. It does not pump the blood. It only receives the blood. Get it? So at the time of receiving the blood, the pressure in the blood is less. So that is why its wall are thin. Alright. But the ventricles pump the blood to various parts of the body. So that is why it requires more pressure to pump it. And so that the walls of the ventricles are thick. Because of which, what it can do? It can pump the blood with pressure. Get it? So this action of pumping the blood by the ventricles, the muscular wall, thick muscular walls are necessary in the ventricle. Whereas this kind of thick muscular walls are not necessary, not required in auricles because it only receives the blood. Get it? Understood the reason now why the ventricles have thick wall and auricles have thin wall? Everyone? Alright. So this is all about the thoughts questions. Okay, and I hope that you understood all the answers with reason also. Get it? So the chapter, all exercise of the chapter is going to complete here, and I hope that you understood all the exercises. Alright, children. Thank you and have a nice day.